And then for the adults, they have this magazine, has a magazine for the adults as well. And I want to go through this one and tell you why you don't need chocolate. And the other things like coffee, well, coffee, that's their own brand. And I just bought it because I'm addicted to it. But actually it's such a sour thing. You don't need it because you would have to intake a lot of minerals to equalize this sour coffee again. So that's why you don't need milk as well, because you don't need milk because A1 cow milk you don't digest. Just the Scandinavians digest milk a little bit. 1960, the World Health Organization has put out these facts, so they should know. As well, chocolate mix with milk is nothing. It's just a new packaging and a new type they do, but what it is, the things you buy is chocolate, so you don't need that one. And also the dreams of chocolate, you don't have to go and to fulfill them for yourselves because you eat a lot of sugar, which is also making your body very sour. So you don't need all these Easter type kind of thing. Well, the pears are sort of okay, but as a fruit they contain a lot of sugar as well. So any sort of sugar is bad. Yeah, that's the coffee I just have shown you. And I'm buying it, telling you not to, but I did. That's life. So here you don't need this pre-prepared food, you can do it yourselves. So that's why you don't need all of these things. Like here, they say if you do potatoes, you can have this meat sauce already. But there is a lot of mononatrium glutamate in it, and you don't need that one because that one really gives you rashes and everything. So in the morning you don't need to eat such sweet stuff. Midday the bread is sweet again, so you don't need that one. And even here they say Znacht in Switzerland, it's called Znacht, lunch. And dinner, that one would be. You don't need all these breads that they are trying to market to you. And wine is a foremost factor for illness, so you don't need any of these wines. Here's some more chocolate. I told you why not. Wine, I told you why not. Then the eggs, like protein intake via eggs is okay, but they say you should not heat protein. It does not do you good. So I'm not decided there yet. But you know, needing them colored, you don't need that. So you don't have to go buy the eggs in this form. You can just take them like this and then suck them out raw, probably. So butter would be okay, but not any sort of plant-based margarine. This is not good for your heart. I just read in a book. Well, I got the book with me. It's down here. And it says it on here. So there is a lot of studies mentioned, like after every article, so I'm sure you should not buy this one. You should rather buy just the butter. So tomato has a lot of lectins in it, and it's a night shadow fruit. So you vegetable. You should not take any of these, and also the meat that's contained in it. Here you have a lot of sugar as well, so you don't need to go buy the meat and put it on bread, which has a lot of sugar in it. The prepared food is no good. Besides, there is a crisis, but now we're not living in a crisis, so just buy the raw potato and do these yourselves. Because the food will always intake the aluminum and the plastic that's like inside this tin can is coated with. So you take it in as well. There's been a documentary from people that have avoided all plastic for like a month, and they could already measure that they haven't taken in that much plastic, no more. Okay, wine you don't need, chocolate you don't need, cold sugar you don't need, all these detergents you don't need for the car. Then these ones smell really gross for your toilet, so you don't need them. All these detergents you don't need, you just need lemon juice and vinegar to do your cleaning at home, and then something like this. Yeah, I agree. So then, when you're living, you should not clean with these kind of things. That one you need. Toilet paper, maybe, if you're not doing it the Muslim style. Just washing yourselves with water. Here, this one you don't need, just costs a lot. If you shake it outside the window, then you shake off everything you can, and all the other things you cannot take off with this one. You will have to use your fingers anyhow. So now this one you don't need because it contains a lot of unnecessary substances. So this Scotch Brite you don't need to buy because you can just buy the most cheapest one you find. That one is not really sharp. So these ones. And also here you have a lot of perfume containing in these things, so I'm not buying those. I just buy olive soap. And to wash I have a detergent with no perfume in it. That one I just bought. I could show you as well, but it's in here. So then, that's a good brand. But I have the other one, which is called Sonnet. So if you have Akku in your stuff, you don't need batteries no more. Well, the batteries, they don't contain lithium, which is a Sheldon mineral that's not so often found on Earth. So it's actually better to buy batteries. But then you would have to throw them away again. And I don't have to throw away my Akkus that often. And the rechargeable ones I once used to have, the batteries, just were getting to be a drag, so I threw them away. I'm not doing that business anymore. I told you why sweets are no good. Like the acidic sour thing balance gets unbalanced. Prepared food is nothing. Meat is nothing. Not even the honey I would buy. Because the honey, they said, all of them around the whole world contain stuff that you don't want to have. Like, they tested a lot of the honey and they were all not healthy. So here you don't need to eat these cold, because if you have a certain grain, it needs to be treated the right way. So if you have the grain bread is made of, you have to eat it as a white bread. If you have hafer, look it up, you need to cook it, then it is most digestible. And if you have Roggen, look it up, then you have to make a sour bread with it. So you can't just throw all the corns, all the grains together and then have a so-called healthy breakfast. It doesn't work. Banana is okay if you intake it green, they say, because of the lectins, they aren't around then. Well, this one is a pre-prepared food where you have old oil. They usually take sunflower oil around these corn or potatoes. And that's no good. It's the same with pomfret. You should not intake something that has been baked in old oil. They don't take fresh oil for every package they make. Coffee is a bad thing. If there is a crisis, yes, you need to have it for like crisis food. But otherwise, if you drink it every day, that's bad. And I'm not doing that anymore. At home, I seldomly drink any coffee because I cannot make it anymore at home. That's why I have to go to a place like this and buy it, sort of. Then beer is no good because it will just continue getting its brew going on in your stomach. Then this pizza thing is bad, high protein milk is bad, and there is a lot of perfume contained in that one, so that's bad. The sofa is good. Well, it's not good actually, because you should sit on the floor. It's much better for your back. All the ice has too much sugar in it, as well as the honey, of course, besides being poisoned nowadays. Even the ones doing honey, where they go from place to place with their bees, has no good honey. There is toxins. Like from Australia, I heard someone that's going from place to place with his bees, and he has toxins in his honey. So here, any milk product is no good, but I buy the natural, the yogurt that hasn't added sugar, and then I put some vitamin D and stuff. So I do intake cow milk protein from A1 cows from time to time, because this shop over there does not have any sheep's yogurt. Sometimes I buy cheese, but I usually buy feta, which is a cow and goat milk cheese. Well, sheep and goat milk cheese, which is much better because it's A2 milk, and so the protein gets digested. These are, again, containing a lot of sugar, so I don't want them. That's coffee, we talked about it. That's even worse alcohol. Well, actually not, because vodka is a different sort of alcohol, so you digest it differently and you don't get a hangover the next day, I promise. Then we have the noodles, which is just a kind of a salty variation of eating the cereal, sort of, but it's also containing a lot of sugars without you realizing. This one we have already said is no good, and from all the oils, the olive oil is best. This one is really good if it comes fresh. Here we talked about the old oil. So here we have the sugary stuff that we want to abandon in our lives. Looking at it is okay, but not taking it in. So here we have some more, like eating sweets for birthday. That's really a bad habit then. So we're almost through this focusing training review that I'm doing with you. And yeah, some more chocolate, which we don't need. So we have decided quite a lot of things out of this magazine, which is called Euse, LADE, our magazine, our supermarket. We don't need. What a nice life this is, saying no to everything. So saying yes to what we have already, not all these things. So we don't have to go somewhere, buy these things. We are already fine. That's a good thing.